E aí, Flávio, eu reiniciei o PC sim, cara. Eu acho que agora não vai dar chabu mais. Cadê o lanchinho da tarde? Já pegou? Peguei nada, mano. Deixa eu ver se isso aqui tá sendo postado. Acho que já foi, né? 2 da tarde. Próximo, né? Você só. Deixa eu ver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Tem 18? Então só foi um? Tá em 2 por dia? Como assim tá 2 por dia? Deixa eu ver. 1, 2, 3. Tá 3 por dia ou tá 4 por dia? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tá, vamos ver então. Deixa rolando assim. Marcar isso aqui como feito. Será que eu fechei o meu boss? Tá. Coloquei o boss sem querer. Cadê o lanchinho? Sem lanchinho por enquanto. Successfully back in operation now. Ok. Deixa eu ver. Pós, eu não quero. Pós, eu não quero ter que. Eu não quero containers rodando no meu computador local, no meu Mac local. Eu quero a gente usando o server para rodar os containers lá. Ah, sem pensar muito, Dani, uma ideia de marketing absurda para uma barbearia usando cloud, o que você faria? Uma ideia de marketing absurda para uma barbearia usando cloud. Cara, o cloud é só uma ferramenta, né? O que tem a ver o cloud com o marketing, com a barbearia? Acho que o cloud ele não vai resolver seus problemas de marketing, mas ele pode te dar as ideias absurdas de marketing. Novos cortes. Cara, esse é um legal, hein? Você pode usar o Codex, na verdade, para gerar imagem. Aí você mostra um. Aí pessoal, um fluxo assim, ó, que você mostra, o cliente chega, aí você tira uma foto do cliente, ou o cliente manda uma foto, e aí ele gera as opções de corte para aquela pessoa. Como que ela ficaria, tipo, em diferentes cortes. Ela pode escolher os cortes que vocês trabalham, e ela vai lá e aí vocês cortam o cabelo com aquela imagem lá que o cliente escolheu. Isso seria uma coisa que eu usaria, tá ligado? Pra eu ver como que ficaria o meu corte, aí eu iria lá e cortaria o cabelo. Mas o cloud em si vai ser só uma ferramenta pra te ajudar no seu processo. Você tem que ter o teu processo de marketing. Você tem que ver como é que tá funcionando a barbearia pra descobrir qual que é o gargalo. Primeiro descobrir qual que é o gargalo. E aí você vai é, tentar resolver. Eu estou focado em canal Dark. Carlos SD. O meu nicho vai ser a galera dos cursos técnicos barra carreiras.
E aí, Dani? Cara, deixa eu só te fazer uma pergunta. Deixa eu compartilhar a tela aqui com você. Tá aparecendo o Da Vinci aí?
Não,
Não tá aparecendo?
não. Tá
Hum,
parecendo Slack só.
hum, hum. Ah, aí. Só tirar uma dúvida com você.
Fala aí.
Essa parte aqui, eu acho que o inglês tá um pouco diferente. Ó, aqui, ó, eu me baseei muito pelas falas. Aqui, ó, tu termina a frase com machine. Calma aí.
Esse é o vídeo que eu pré-editado?
Oi?
Esse é o vídeo pré-editado?
Exato, só que daí como que eu fiz?
É, não, pera lá.
Opa, deixa eu dar um.
Ele é o pré-editado?
É o pré-editado, só que eu dei uma outra editadinha nele. Deixa eu te mostrar aqui.
Pera aí.
Como que eu dei uma cortada aqui nas câmeras B e tipo dei uma. Tá vendo que agora ele tá alinhado aqui, ó? Eu tentei dar
Alinhado com o
uma
quê?
arrumada aqui, ó. Mas, cara, não
O que? Você tá
deu
falando
uma.
no meu roxo? Você tá
É,
falando?
eu consegui dar uma micro melhorada, só que eu não consegui tirar
Cara, não
tudo.
precisa disso aí, cara. Você pode deixar o roxão na cara mesmo.
Daí, ó,
Cara, você já fez beleza, mas não precisava.
eu tentei deixar as duas câmeras, tipo, mais parecidas, ó. Tipo, essa aqui tava muito mais azul, e daí eu dei uma mexida aqui
Hum.
no color e tal. A minha dúvida eu não sei, deixa eu ver aqui. Ah, eu vou te mostrar aqui o que que eu fiz. Eu não liga não que minha timeline de edição aqui,
Tá,
ela é meio caótica.
tá. Vai lá.
Tá vendo que a câmera B aqui, ó, eu separei todos os que são câmeras B, ó, e separei e realinhei aqui, ó, para ficar certinho, porque tu tinha filmado, lembra que tava meio. Daí eu separei aqui. Então, a minha dúvida era, só pra gente não perder o foco, deixa eu ver por aqui, que eu tava mexendo por aqui. É nessa parte aqui. Nessa parte aqui, ó, tu tá falando no meu texto aqui. Hum,
Vai
é,
lá.
essa
Qual que é a
parte.
dúvida?
Calma aí, eu tô. Ó, tá vendo? Essa parte aqui que você tá falando sobre dependências, o texto que você tá falando aqui tá meio diferente. Eu queria saber se eu acertei de mostrar a parte no dependências, se tá na parte certa e se essa sobre verificação tá na parte certa, ó.
É, não tem áudio pra mim quando você compartilha a tela.
Tipo, tu acha que ficou. Você acha que, tipo, ficou bom do jeito
Não
que eu
sei o
fiz
que que
aqui?
é. Eu não sei. O
Ó, deixa eu. Deixa...
que a IA tinha
É
falado
verdade, é
lá?
porque.
É aí que a IA tinha falado pra botar?
Sim, só que os textos eles estão um pouco diferentes. Eu tô só te perguntando para mim tirar a...
É... Cara, o que que eu posso
Cara,
dizer? Tem uma
tá.
parte que eu tava falando de dependência, tem outra que eu tava falando de. Não sei,
Deixa eu
eu
rodar
não
ele
sei, eu
aí.
não lembro o roteiro.
Na
E não
verdade,
adianta
eu
rodar
acho.
que tá sem áudio.
Ah, tá sem áudio. Cara, louco, mas essa compartilhação aqui tá sem áudio, tá sem. Enfim, eu vou subir o vídeo lá, eu só vou colocar uns efeitinhos de scroll conforme a gente for passando e eu vou deixar as duas velocidades aqui que eu percebi que a velocidade do, do frame anterior desse tá um pouco diferente. E eu já vou subir lá. Eu, tipo, deixei ele sem dopamina, trabalhando mais
Tá?
com a música e com as imagens.
Beleza?
Eu vou subir lá.
Beleza?
No
Você curtiu o
máximo,
vídeo?
cara, eu gostei muito mais.
Bom, tá bom.
Eu
Beleza.
gostei também mais da experiência de editar ele desse jeito que você me mandou aqui. tipo, deixou muito mais tranquilo. Tipo, eu tava perdendo muito tempo retirando os silêncios e organizando as câmeras A's, as câmeras B's. Então isso era o que tava roubando mais meu tempo. Você viu que esse aqui eu editei rapidinho, né?
Uhum. Show.
Então melhorou bastante aqui pra mim.
Que
Beleza?
bom,
Eu
cara.
já,
Que
já vou
bom.
subir lá.
Valeu, mano.
Valeu. É isso.
O Astro Vale. Que legal, cara, que você fez o My People. Você tem um print do teu setup? Tô curioso pra ver como é que ficou o seu. Deixa eu mandar. Vou pedir lá no WhatsApp, não sei se ainda tá na live. Eu não sei seu nome lá no canal. Não sei se é João. Fala seu nome aí, mano. Na hora eu te mando. Manda lá, manda lá. E como é que é teu nome mesmo, mano? É João? Ou não? Tô confundindo.
Hey, Mary.
One sec.
Hey, do you have a few minutes? Now
Yeah.
the time?
I'll follow you.
Okay.
Side of the room. I think I'm good now on my audio setting. I gotta mute something and unmute things.
Manda lá, manda lá. Valeu. Cara, tá em live ainda, bicho. Eu sempre tô em live, cara. Sempre estou em live.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. How much would it throw off your work stream if I find a different Sarah? I can live with it, but I just hate that. I hated it since the beginning. And then all the explorations I saw Nick, the designer, do, I'm like, oh, like it's like only works in a very specific way. And I've kind of like found that niche, but then like it then we like have these other applications and like can it always work that way? So yeah, 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 mhm, yeah, yeah. I mean, too, I like obviously we want good consistent branding, but if like the very first videos we have out there have a different serif font, like no one's gonna know too. Besides us, probably. We can keep the AI worth the AI worth using actually works. I think we found a good like that's been no, that's fair. Yeah, 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 totally. Need to ASAP. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, it might work if it's just all the same font size. Oh, maybe it is. Honestly, maybe it is. I just um, yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, good to know that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's like a couple fonts that Claude really likes to use, and it's one of them, which is why it's in our thing. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thanks. Mhm.
Hey.
Hey y'all.
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, this stream is not live yet.
Okay.
So Rowan, is the plan the same? Like we both
Yeah.
interviewing Sam?
Yeah. So, Sam, we I dare say, we're gonna kind of make things a little maybe hopefully not too uncomfortable, but we're gonna kind of talk about your accomplishments and your background and where you come from and what brought you here. And I think there's some, I think anyone who is, interested to kind of see your background and how you got here, is it okay if we dig into some of that?
Yeah, anything is on the table, Rowan, outside
Yep.
of me having not announced this thing to investors.
Okay.
Yeah, which is not, I think, really relevant for these streams, so I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like uncomfortable. I would almost.
You like uncomfortable?
Yeah. I mean, in some ways, like there's uncomfortable, like bragging about Sam uncomfortable, which is kind of what you're talking about, and then there's uncomfortable, like, fuck, are we gonna survive uncomfortable, which is to me more interesting.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So any kind of uncomfortable is good.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think, yeah. So I think we'll avoid the kind of the big pivot. But I think we can talk about like what was your motivation to, because the way I understand it is that you decided that you need to kind of come back to return to Silicon Valley, right? From being in Seattle and
Yeah.
wanting to kind of participate in being, in the AI revolution.
Right.
And so,
Yep.
so
We're not
we
live yet, okay, Ron? So
okay?
just
Let's
letting you
just
know. So let me know
okay,
if you wanted this question to be live.
yeah, let's dive in.
Okay, let me just turn on the channels. We're live on YouTube and Twitch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, Sam. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about you returning to Silicon Valley after having a long and very kind of prestigious career. I mean, working at some of the major tech brands of our generation, namely Facebook and Dropbox. So I want to understand,
And Twitter.
what was,
Don't forget Twitter. Twitter's
I'm
also.
sorry. Yeah, I didn't. Okay. Let me
Twitter
just pick
was
up
a
that
short
name.
stint, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just tell me a little bit about like what was it that brought you back? Because you kind of left, and there was a kind of almost like a feeling that you'd done the large part of your career was kind of behind you, right? And then the advent of AI, right? If I'm getting this correct, you had a calling back to the Bay Area, to Silicon Valley, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was
Yes.
because you knew you wanted to participate in this new tech revolution.
It was because I feel the weight of and the power of AI and how dangerous it is if we don't get this right.
Remember you shared a few weeks ago about like you surfed this AI wave in the past and like extracted from the system and you wanted to give it back. Can you tell more about that?
Yeah. I worked at Facebook. I spent a lot of time at Facebook thinking about how do we make sure we're building product that's better, that we know is good for our users. I landed on this belief that we're actually very focused, because we're very focused on what users tell us through through their behavior. Like we would obsess over the behavior of our users, like scrutinize it to an extreme degree to understand what do they want and what do they not want. And I believe that that was an expression of humility, where we are not thinking that we know what users want, but rather we have a very deep desire to listen and observe and understand from that what they actually want. And because we were doing that, we knew we were building a product that was better for users because we were building a product that users wanted, and we knew that users wanted it because they would use it, and they would use it more when we would launch new features. And I told myself when I ran photos at Facebook that I was a storyteller, that because of Facebook photos, for the first time in the history of humanity, you could log on and you could see all these beautiful photos from people that you cared about from all over the world. And yes, in the past, you could ask some cousin in, the UK, hey, can you send me photos of your new kid? But, often you wouldn't be able to really stay connected with everybody. And for the first time, we were able to allow people to tell stories to their network, to the most important to them. And that was a great gift. Our mission was to make the world a more connected place. And as a storyteller at running Facebook photos and Facebook video, I felt like I was really meaningfully doing something there. And part of that, I decided to deploy facial recognition and detection to figure out who is in a photo, because to tell a story, you need to know things about what's happening, right? And the more you can know about what's happening, the richer the story you can tell. And I spent a lot of time thinking about, okay, how is this going to be misused? We don't want to tag somebody in a way that implies racial bias. We don't want these face IDs to leak in a way that would allow nation states to identify dissidents and persecute them. We want to make sure people know that this is happening, and give you control over your, whether or not you're getting tagged. I spent a lot of time thinking about all of this, and we launched it. It was probably one of the largest, if not the largest, machine learning deployments in the world at that time. We would process at its peak 100 million photos a day or more. So at that time, this was just an enormous volume, and was yeah, it was but today it's sort of kind of playground AI. It's like what the little kids use. A lot of our tech today could be run on a phone. This is not today. This is some of the most basic machine learning and AI, very basic models. And the reality is, I was shipping facial recognition and detection because it got clicks.
Yeah.
You've been tagged in a photo, users could not click on that. I knew that. I knew that was the kind of story they wanted to know. They wanted to know who's talking about them. And by sending them a message like, hey, we found your photo in somebody else's uploads, people clicked on that. People wanted to know that.
Yeah.
And it was that engagement, right? That drove me. When I think of that engagement, the whole company was designed around that engagement. All of our AI, all of our ML was designed around maximizing that engagement. And when I look back on that, I've come to two conclusions. One is, we weren't building product people loved. We were building product people used. And I used in the same way that a drug addict would use the term, right?
And
we were a drug dealer.
Yeah. I mean, users, they share the same verbiage.
And even more than that, when I see half the country cheering on like a group that's storming the Capitol, and the other half of the country looking at that and just like not understanding there's no common truth. I
Yeah.
see Facebook. I see the fact that we were showing things that you loved to click on. We were showing
Yeah.
things that confirmed your biases. And
Yeah.
as hard as it is to believe, like I just would have never predicted that the work that we were doing would lead to like political unrest
Yeah.
and isolation. Like our mission was the opposite.
Yeah.
And now we're working with AI that is so much more powerful.
Right.
And I think we don't know what the second and third order effects are going to be, but they're going to
Right.
be big. They're going to be really big.
Yeah.
There's something you
uh,
shared about like users wanting to use that feature and like having engagement, and they are using, and by them using, like that they are liking the feature. Like if that was the old world, what is the new world for you to understand what actually users want and that is good for them versus just like detecting what they're using and building around that?
I don't know what the new world is. I think we don't know as a society what the new world should be. This is really uncharted territory. We have metaphors in other industries, like we have the food industry. In the 1930s, you had preservatives and the assembly line, and then in that decade, you got Twinkies, you got Frito-Lays, you got the Snickers bar, you got the donut machine. Like you got spam, you got this proliferation of junk food, right? And it was what users bought, what users used, right? But very, very quickly, people realized, oh, this is not actually what I want for my life, right? And then you got the nutrition panel, but the nutrition panel came half a century later, and that told you, okay, this is the real health. This is the health profile of the thing that you're eating, right? And you got Whole Foods, and you got, I don't know what that looks like for tech.
But do you believe that healthy version exists and has legs, like this type of businesses that are not exploiting the dopamine hits?
I don't know if the healthy version has legs. I'm hoping it does, because I'm hoping the startup will be one of those products. And if it doesn't have legs, I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to make this work.
I think what I like about the name of the company, which is Plow, and the understanding that the metaphor is that was kind of one of the first big industrial symbols, or kind of symbols of the Industrial Revolution, that actually gave time back to man. And I think that's probably ultimately the tension, right, between any technology, is that ultimately it pulls you in, but the idea is like, at what point can it release you? Like where can it? And I've noticed that Claude will tell me to go to bed. I don't know if you guys have had that experience where it's getting late, go get some rest. Do you guys get that?
That's never happened to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I
That
think
is
there's a
awesome.
part of me. I mean, it's really caring, and I'm developing this kind of pseudo, emotional relationship with Claude. But I also know that that's a very kind of almost insidious ploy to anthropomorphize this code, because it's known in the gaming industry that if you the best parasites do not kill their hosts. They
Right.
they bring them enough enrichment for them to continue to feed from them. I'm taking this to a very dark place here, but
Yeah.
I do think there is a tension between, because what we were talking about was time on site, right? With Facebook, is that everything was optimized for time on site, and that is because ultimately advertising, the more people are spending on the site, the more advertising that you can spend, and the higher rates, right? And I think that was kind of a pivotal moment in Facebook when Sheryl Sandberg came from Google, who had mastered time on site, or kind of like these kind of advertising toll booths, or ways that you could basically drive revenue, and it was all optimizing for more engagement. Well, where in the algorithms of these AI systems are they actually really allowing us to give time back, because I find Claude also celebrates me and makes me kind of feel a little bit like I'm probably smarter than I am. And I'm kind of cynical, and I'm thinking, you're actually just trying to get under my skin. You're trying to make my time with you a little bit more, rewarding than my time in the real world. So there is a real tension there, but I do think that's something that Plow, hopefully, is something that we can solve, right? How do we give time back away from technology? How do we use technology to get away from technology? That's an interesting conundrum, right?
Yeah.
There's no clear answer, I don't think, but
no. But that's what I mean. So the question is, what do you do about it? In the face of ambiguity, you can kind of go out into the mountains and do something else. You can tell other people to do things differently. You can regulate the industry, or you can try to build something that actually that's actually the answer.
Yeah.
In my community, there's a lot of people that come and ask, like, what do you think if, like, for example, a common question is, do you think AI will replace our jobs, or like software engineers, for example? And then I'm thinking myself, like, I want to be able to have the system that can replace me as a software engineer, so that the AI can do my work. But the answer that I give people is like, okay, if this happens, then the AI will not replace my work. Then, like, AI is able to do this work, and I will go, like, instead of like go to the mountains or like to the touch grass, I will level up, and then I'll take care of like more responsibilities, because now that problem is solved. So my question to you, Sam, do you believe, is there a world, like, if we have this amazing latte making machine that like creates good latte, we will like be able to go to the mountains and like spend more time away from the computer, or that's not gonna happen?
So the latte making machine that you're talking about is like the AI language model that writes good code, right? Today, if anybody's gotten a machine made latte, it's disgusting, right? And language models historically, they'll make code, but it doesn't taste good, right? And so the question is, if we have a latte making machine that makes the most delicious lattes, what do we do? That's kind of what you're asking.
Yeah. Or do you see a world where we actually are like, okay, this is enough. This is what was my job.
Yeah.
Now I have this machine.
I don't, it's interesting because there've been tools that have enslaved us and tools that have freed us, right? Like I do think the plow in agriculture genuinely freed the population from food production. And we got this explosion of, the arts and sciences and politics. Like, we got all of this very interesting democracy. It all came from that freedom where humanity was freed from production of food. We went from 98% of the population everyone focused on just like putting food on the table for tomorrow, to 2% of the population, right? And it was very freeing. Then you also have technologies that promised freedom and enslaved us, right? Like the automobile promised freedom. It was like going to be amazing. We'd go out into the country and take all these amazing trips. But the reality is most of us use the car to sit in traffic and commute to work. And why did we do that? Well, we wanted more. We wanted bigger houses, right? And so we would move out into the suburbs and commute into the city versus living near the city. And there is something human about this, where you can build the tool, but you also need to, we need to choose different, right? We need to reach for the healthy salad, not the Snickers bar. And I don't know. I think the answer, there's going to be multiple parts to this answer.
Yeah, I feel like the trouble is that our biology hasn't really caught up with this godlike technology. We still kind of crave those essentials of like calories, of like fat and sugar, and those things that when food was scarce, that was something that our bodies were were built to obsess over. And now, even in a time of abundance, we still have these. And maybe Harper Reed on our recording of the podcast the other day said that GLP-1s might actually be one of the biggest breakthroughs. And actually Professor Scott Galloway says he thinks that it's actually more of a significant breakthrough for humanity than AI itself, because
Yeah,
you're removing
right.
that need, that compulsion,
The
that
compulsion.
occupies so
Yeah.
much of your brain. I mean,
Right.
it's not just food. Like, people are seeing it that are taking it are now taking rest from video games and from from gambling addiction, from alcohol addiction. So
Yeah.
maybe that's
Yeah.
bridging that gap.
Okay, we got a question from the audience,
Excellent.
which Daniel, I feel like is connected to what you said. So Theo9 is saying, I'm a product designer. I think they're going to replace me first. What do you think? And then there's kind of a nervous ha 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 after that. Daniel, what would you say to Theo?
So what I actually think is gonna happen is, previously you were a designer that had a amount of tools available for you to do your work, and now you have this new tool that can do the work that you did in the past. So now, if for example, if in the old world I would take 2 days or 1 week or a full day to come up with a design, and I have this tool that can create like 10 different variations of design for me in 10 minutes. Now I don't need to spend my time creating that design. Now I can level up. And if I was only doing designs, now I can oversee the process of that previous task that I was working on, and maybe focus on another thing. So out of these 10 designs, or now I can use this tool to create 100 designs and do some A, B, C, D, E test and see which one converts more. Or so instead of like being replaced, I believe you become more productive and be able to 100x the output that you were able to do without this new tool. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, there was a
models...
who was it Jensen Huang who said AI is not going to replace you? It's going to be the person using AI that replaces you. And that resonates with me. Mary on our team is using an enormous amount of tokens based on this leaderboard, the token maxing leaderboard. We need to get that token maxing leaderboard on Watch Me Pivot. And she's a designer. She's using more tokens than many, I would say, honestly, most engineers. And so the question is, how can you use AI to become a more productive designer, like Daniel's talking about? And then you can actually disrupt the design industry generally. You can provide an enormous amount of value. Yeah.
I think it's reassuring that the audience is still a human. Like, if you're a product designer, and even though AI can iterate rapidly, there's still the judgment and the taste and the kind of human deference. You have to be that human in the loop that allows that human judgment to exist, because an algorithm cannot decide what the human actually ultimately gets handed off, and you have to be that final handoff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And here we have our token maxing leaderboard. Right now, Sam is top 1 with incredible 10 billion tokens. That's my target.
What were you spending all these tokens on, Sam?
I wonder this myself. I'm like, some days I'm like, I just spent 2 billion tokens and I'm frustrated. I just wasted 2 billion tokens. That's the equivalent writing of like the first like millennia of human literature.
So these are process of developing new tools. Like what really are you burning them on?
Okay, so let's see. I've got like all these little windows, and I'll have like between 10 and 8 and 10 windows. So let's see. This one is working on what are we working on here? This is working on getting GBrain working in Plow. So this is a memory system in Plow. Also working on getting GBrain working in Plow. This one's working on this is working on Seeds. So Seeds, we want to make it easy for people to share their AI infrastructure and install the AI infrastructure of the people they respect. This is working on a Seed that installs Hermes. Yeah. Plow is the container that installs an agent on your computer. So this one's figuring out. I got this like alarming message. You never want to get this message. Warning, remote host and identification has changed. It's possible that somebody is doing something nasty. Someone could be eavesdropping you right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
so-
I disabled this config on my setup. Because whenever-
in the United States they have this term, the boy who cried wolf, and it's like when you get an alarming message often enough where you start to ignore it, and that's what's happening to you. The system is crying wolf, and it's benign enough.
Yeah, but I would like set up these fresh containers and set up tailscale on them, and then like spin up another container with the same host name, the same tailscale, and then I will get this message every time. So like I disabled.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm going to jump in here and say that we're at the half-hour mark, which is our time to cut this off. I see we do have a question here. Maybe we can entertain one more question, but I do want to remind our viewers. By the way, how many viewers do we have?
We have right now 4.
4. That we will be available daily. So we're going to keep these things short and sweet, and hopefully you'll join us tomorrow if you do have any questions that are unanswered. But I want to take this last one.
Rowan, this is directed at you.
Oh, it is?
You and Daniel, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is.
O Pueblo. I wonder if I'm pronouncing his name right.
Oh, thanks for asking that. Daniel, do you want to take it?
No, you can take it.
Okay. So I have been enjoying Weavy workflows, which is kind of a node-based workflow where you can kind of choose different tools and you can string them together. And it can give you the entire cost of the workflow. So I'm doing some of that. I'm doing AI UGC content creation right now for Binance, one of the things that we're doing for Binance. But I love FreePick and all the tools. I love Nano Banana. I use that. I use Cdance 2.0 as my main, and Kling 3.0 as my main video tools. Yeah, it's a wild time. It seems like every 2 weeks something new comes out that we need to play around with. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only there was a way for you to track all these tokens that you're using on this beta generation tools.
Yeah.
And like share the workflow. Imagine like this. That's the campaign I did for Binance, and this is setup I did to create it.
Yeah, I'm actually happy to share my Weavy workflow. I can flash it up and show you kind of. I mean, maybe we'll come back to this another time, but I'd be happy to share this stuff because I think that's very much in the spirit of what we're trying to do here. Yeah, let's come back to this another time, and I'll have a workflow to share.
Sam is muted.
That needs to be tomorrow. That needs to be tomorrow's video. Is you all sharing? Share with me, please.
Share with me, please.
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. Join tomorrow.
Okay, we'll do it tomorrow.
We gotta focus on like, content
Retention.
generation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That podcast that I sent you all also sounded fascinating. Like the first half of that podcast on how he generated content.
Which I'm not sure if I received that link.
You got to listen to the first half of this podcast.
Yeah,
The
yeah, share
workflow
with
he
me.
uses chat GPT with a couple different skills and plugins, and he makes a strong argument for ChatGPT actually, and Codex. I'll find it and share it out with you all.
Okay, so on my side about like content generation, I'm using AI on stuff that I can automate, and that is stuff that takes a lot of time. So for example, when I'm recording videos, a really common task is like removing all the silence, because the silence are not interesting for people. So I can easily set up 2 camera to record myself, and then remove all the silence, and then do the switches between A and B and A and B and A and crop and zoom in, and like use some Facebook segmentation model to identify like where is my face in the video, so that I can crop in at the right proportion. So that's what I use. I don't use anything else for video. And I got a message a few minutes ago on my live stream saying, Daniel, I'm really excited with my people. I transformed all my workflow of work, built a front management front that I'm calling Dayboard, delegating everything through this meta system. So there's a user here that created his Dayboard seed.
Very cool.
I don't know if it's a seed or like he just customized the seed to create his Dayboard.
This is the My People seed.
That's based on the My People seed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Very
great.
cool. We got to do a My People. We got to do a My People demo.
Yes.
2:00 with the team. With Daniel, with your management front end on top of it.
Yeah.
So we should get the plow team in on that, but do that live as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. That's like a demo day or a
Yeah. We're actually the goal with this is to actually start planning ahead some content, so people can kind of like, we can set a date for doing that, and then people can come back if they specifically want to tune in for that.
Right.
So
right.
We'll find a way to publish the content schedule on our socials. That's next.
Or Watch Me Pivot.
That's right, on the Watch Me Pivot landing page.
Put it on Watch Me Pivot /schedule.
Yep.
He's telling me, he just answered like in the chat, his plan is to build a seed and make it harness agnostic. So his version of My People.
Very cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for joining.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay, just finished the stream.
Okay. How much did we ever get up above 4?
Sorry?
Did we ever get above 4? I mean, 4 is great. Like, I'll take it. We had 9 yesterday. We're heading in the wrong direction.
No, yeah. So there's like the peak and there's the average. I don't know what is the peak. I can take a look.
Yeah.
Past
we went
streams.
way off topic.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's quality. That's like being natural versus like being in the box.
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree.
Let me get that info for you. Let me see right now. Past streams.
Should we invite Sam back?
No. Well, I don't know. Yeah, if you want to.
Let me tell him to
about it.
come.
Yeah. So okay.
Wow.
So this live we got 8 peak views as well, and
Oh, good.
the average was 3. Yeah. Actually 4. So we're about the same.
Okay.
Not-
Okay. It's
shouldn't
kind
do
of
that.
lucky that we have at least you have an audience, because if we didn't, then we'd have to be thinking about other ways, and we should still be thinking about other ways. But
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure we'll be at 0.
yeah,
Like
we
if we're
zero.
not if we're not doing an effort to bring people to the stream, no
There's
one will
no active
join.
promotion right now. Yeah,
Like we
that's
will
all.
get like
That's yeah.
we get like nothing from like Twitch itself or like from YouTube. It's like, for example, I did a lot of live streams on Twitch, like a lot of, and it'll be like stuck at 0 or 1 or 2. And
Yeah.
so yesterday for our first stream, just like by sharing a few WhatsApp groups, we're able to get like almost to 10 on the first
Yeah.
one, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we need to start activating the socials, basically, and that's
Yeah.
actually what I was up late last night doing. And watch me pivot to your point is the focus. So I'm gonna keep jamming on that. And I'm gonna set myself a goal for like actually like pushing some content live on it, so that we can actually like start building an audience. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous doing this without one, honestly, but I'm encouraged.
So,
I'm
but
encouraged.
the thing is like, if we don't do this today, when we don't have the audience, I don't think we'll ever have the audience. Or if
Yeah.
like for some reason we get someone to drive audience to us, then they will not stick because we're not good at interacting the audience, because we didn't iterate through the process to learn what it takes.
Exactly.
So
Everyone who's like killing it on YouTube, Callaway, Mr. Beast, you go back to their early content, they suck, and it's the reps. It's just it becomes intuitive, knowing when to shift up, down, change the subject. We're feeling our way
like
through
so
this.
for example, today I know if I'm working and I'm quiet, that will be like 0, 1, 2 views. When I'm like streamer mode, I know like I can get like 15, 20. If I'm talking about something that is like, for example, when Claude released the new model and I changed the stream title, that was like 30, 35 people, but talking, right? I know like if I do a pause, like if I will go to the bathroom or go get some water, like the audience will go down because I'm not entertaining them. And and the only way to build this is by doing the thing, right?
Yeah. I think you and I should just commit to 2:00 every day jumping on. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And hopefully Sam is willing and feels empowered to continue. But we also got to somebody has to be here. So I think as a baseline, if you and I can do it, it takes the pressure off Sam, and it allows us to kind of think about how you and I interact with each other. Because I think there can be a little bit of a repartee that you and I build. Like we could kind of both have a little bit of a kind of different angle. Like on this, you had great questions. So yeah, let's see if we can commit to that.
Yeah. Sounds good. Cool.
All right. Well, Sam didn't join us, unfortunately, but we'll just dive in again tomorrow, I guess, and do it all again.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
I thought I clicked the button to quit and I clicked the button to go live. But there's a cancel. There's a cancel button.
Okay.
Very good. All right.
And that's why you get that's why you get the countdown. Suddenly, all of a sudden, I realized.
All right. Cool. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
E aí, galera, o que vocês acharam? Cadê minha câmera? Deixa eu ver, tem 9 clips. Isso aqui já foi publicado ou não? Deixa eu ver, se foi publicado, foi nesse... Cadê aqui? Aqui, YouTube. Aí vamos ver o Watch Me Pivot. Shorts. Não. Ok. Que susto. YouTube Studio. Content. Shorts. Esse aqui foi dia 16. Eu não publiquei nada dia 16. Quantos que eu consigo colocar? Ou eu publiquei? Publiquei 16? Tá. Então, por algum motivo, ele não publicou automaticamente. Mas, a gente pode fazer o seguinte. Cadê? Onde que eu... Cara, eu tô perdidinho aqui. Tô perdidinho. Ah, já sei por que que eu tô perdido. É porque é nesse aqui. Deixa eu assistir aqui.
I think of that engagement. The whole company was designed around that engagement. All of our AI, all of our ML was designed around maximizing that engagement.
Yeah.
And when I look back on that, I've come to two conclusions. One is we weren't building product people loved. We were building product people used. And I used in the same way that a
Cadê? Eu quero mudar isso aqui. Esse aqui tem que ser aqui. Aqui. Beleza. Publish. Agora eu volto aqui. Esse aqui já foi publish. Aqui. Publish. Esse 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 aqui. Publish. Tá, por algum motivo eu fiquei no... É porque...
I think it's reassuring that the audience is still a human. Like if you're a product.
Tá, agora se a gente vier aqui... Shorts. Tá sendo postado, né? Beleza, tudo bem. Vamos assistir o... Vamos assistir o vídeo lá. Alô, produção, cadê o link do vídeo? Cadê o link do vídeo, produção? Ah, já tá ali. Vamos ver. Cia Pros. Cia Pros. Andrew. Crescência.
This is Carpathi's Auto Research. It's a tool that trains an AI model on its own, overnight, no babysitting. Brilliant, but here's the catch. It only runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA. On my Mac, it just won't run. There's no NVIDIA here. Watch, NVIDIA SMI, command not found. That's where our seed comes in. And to be clear, the seed is not the tool. It's a single file that an AI agent reads to install the tool on any machine. First, the agent looks at the machine and figures out, this is a Mac. Because it's a Mac, it doesn't grab the NVIDIA build. It pulls the Mac for the one that runs without CUDA. Then it installs the dependencies and verifies itself. Runs without CUDA. Then it installs the dependencies and NVIDIA build. It pulls the for the one that runs without CUDA. Then it installs the dependencies and verifies itself. Everything has to pass. And here it is running on my Mac from zero to a real training run. No NVIDIA, no manual setup. The seed figured out my machine and installed the right build in one shot. It's running on my Mac from zero to a real training run. No NVIDIA, no manual setup. The seed figured out my machine and installed the right build in one shot. This is Carpathy's Auto Research. It's a tool that trains an AI model on its own, overnight, no babysitting. Brilliant, but here's the catch. It only runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA. On my Mac, it just won't. But here's the catch. It only runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA. On my Mac, CUDA. On my my Mac, it just won't run. There's no NVIDIA here. Watch, NVIDIA SMI command not found. That's where our seed comes in. And to be clear, the seed is not the tool. It's a single file that an AI agent reads to install the tool on any machine. First, the agent looks at the machine and figures out this is a Mac. Because it's a Mac, it doesn't grab the NVIDIA build. It pulls the Mac for the one that runs without CUDA. Then it installs the dependencies and verifies itself. Everything has to pass. And here it is running on my Mac from zero to a real training run. No NVIDIA, no manual setup. The seed figured out my machine and installed the right build on my Mac. CUDA on my Mac. It just won't run with CUDA. Runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA on my night, no babysitting. Brilliant! But here's the catch. It only runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA. On my Mac, catch. It only runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA. On my Mac, it just won't run. There's no NVIDIA here. Watch, NVIDIA SMI command not found. That's where our seed comes in. And to be clear, the seed is not the tool. It's a single file that an AI agent reads to install the tool on any machine. First, the agent looks at the machine and figures out this is a Mac. Installs the dependencies and verifies itself. Everything has to pass. And here it is running on my Mac from zero to a real training run. No NVIDIA, no manual setup. The seed figured out my machine and installed the right build in one shot. Is top one with incredible 10 billion.
I don't, you know, the it's interesting because there've been tools, and this is really uncharted territory. We have metaphors in other industries, like we have the food industry. You know, in the 1930s, you had preservatives and the assembly line, and then in that decade, you got Twinkies, you got Frito-Lays, you got the Snickers bar, you got the donut machine. Like you got spam, you got this proliferation of junk food.
Our biology
Is top one with incredible 10 billion tokens. That's
Agora sobe tanto o de 5 quanto o de 10 segundos no Dropbox pra mim, por favor.
This is really uncharted territory. We have metaphors in other industries. Like we have the food industry. You know, in the 1930s, you had preservatives and the assembly line, and then in that decade, you got Twinkies, you got Frito-Lays, you got the Snickers bar, you got the donut machine. Like you got this, you got spam, you got this proliferation of junk food, right? And it was what users bought, what users used, right? But very very quickly people realized, oh, this is not actually what I want for my life, right? And then you got the nutrition panel, but the nutrition panel came half a century later, and that told you, okay, this is the real health, this is the health profile of the thing that you're eating, right? And you got Whole Foods, and you got, I don't, you know, like I don't know what that looks like for tech.
But do you believe that healthy version exists and yeah, has legs, like this type of businesses that are not exploiting the dopamine hits?
I don't know if the healthy version has. This is really uncharted territory.
E aí? E aí, mano? Beleza? Beleza pura?
This is Carpathy's Auto Research. It's a tool that trains an AI model on its own, overnight, no babysitting. Brilliant! But here's the catch. It only runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA. On my only runs on an NVIDIA Auto Research. It's a tool that trains an AI model on its own, overnight, no babysitting. Brilliant! But here's the catch. It only runs on an
F19? Deixa eu ver.
This is Carpathy's Auto Research. It's a tool that trains an AI model on its own, overnight, no babysitting. Brilliant! But here's the catch. It only runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA. On my Mac, it just won't run. There's no the catch. It only runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA. On my Mac, it just won't run. There's no NVIDIA here. Watch. NVIDIA SMI command not found. That's where our seed comes in. And to be clear, the seed is not the tool. It's a CUDA. On my Mac, it just won't run. There's no NVIDIA here. Watch. NVIDIA SMI command not found. That's where our seed comes in. And to be clear, the seed is not the tool. It's a single file that an AI agent reads to install the tool on any machine. First, the agent looks at the machine and figures out this is a Mac. Because it's a Mac, it doesn't grab the NVIDIA build. It pulls the Mac for the one that runs without CUDA. Then it installs the dependency. Then it installs the dependency. Then it installs the build. It pulls the Mac for the one that
Ah, 30. Deixa eu ver como é que tava no vídeo original. Esse aqui.
NVIDIA build. It pulls the Mac for the one that
Cara, agora eu não sei como é que tá o. Deixa eu ver.
runs without CUDA. Then it installs the dependencies and verifies itself. Everything has to pass. And here it is running on my Mac from zero to a real training run. No NVIDIA, no manual setup. Mac from zero pulls the Mac for the one that runs without CUDA. Then it installs the dependencies and verifies itself. Everything has to pass. And here it is running on my Mac from zero to a real training run. No NVIDIA, no manual setup. The seed figured out my machine and installed the right build in one shot.
Cara, esse vídeo aqui ficou muito legal. Não, esse é do Mic viu.
Sam. My agent did have one question about like the architecture of the plow skill. I'm wondering if you have an opinion on it. I just locked it to you.
Todo mundo já pra fora, vamos. Vamos, circulando. Vamos já pra fora, vamos.
This is Carpathy's Auto Research. It's a tool that trains an. This is Carpathy's Auto Research. This is Carpathy. This is Carpathy. This is Carpathy's Auto Research. This is Carpathy's Auto Research. It's a tool that trains an AI model on its own, overnight, no babysitting. Brilliant! But here's the catch. It only runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA. On my Mac, it just won't run. There's no NVIDIA here. Watch. NVIDIA SMI, command not found. That's where our seed comes in. And to be clear, the seed is not the tool. It's a single file that an AI agent reads to install the tool on any machine. First, the agent looks at the machine and figures out, this is a Mac. Because it's a Mac, it doesn't grab the NVIDIA build. It pulls the Mac fork, the one that runs without CUDA. Then it installs runs without CUDA. Pulls the Mac fork, the one that
Desktop. Não sei se tá vendo desktop. Já sei. Edit Plow. Dropbox. Deixa eu assistir isso aqui. Pra ver se é um erro meu.
This is Carpathy's Auto Research. It's a tool that trains or seeds the tool on any machine. First, the agent looks at the machine and figures out, this is a Mac. Because it's a Mac, it doesn't grab the NVIDIA build. It pulls the Mac fork, the it pulls the Mac fork.
Só um segundo.
The Mac fork, the one that runs without CUDA. Then
Fork. So. Deixa eu ver em qual que tá na dele. Esse aqui.
pulls the Mac fork, the one
Esse vídeo.
pulls the Mac fork, the one that runs.
Beleza. Ai, 7h40. Alô?
Oi. Alô, deixa eu compartilhar aqui pra mostrar. Deixa eu ver.
Que foi?
Descendo, né?
Você tá com outro mic.
Ué, eu não sei por que que fica mudando, cara. Ué, não, tá falando. Eu acho que é porque eu tava falando mais baixo mesmo. Melhorou?
Tá. Faz assim, ó. Toque, toque. Não, não tá vindo toque, toque. Faz. Fala perto do mic pra eu ver.
Alô?
Não, não tá vindo do mic, não. Fala longe do mic, deixa eu ver. Eu não tô te ouvindo agora. Não, agora eu nem tô ouvindo.
Tá vindo da câmera mesmo. Alô?
Aí, agora tá certo.
Deixa eu ver.
Trocou,
Alô?
voltou. Saiu de novo.
Alô? Alô, alô, alô.
Agora sim. Tá funcionando.
Agora tá vindo? Deixa eu ver. Agora eu
Trocou,
não tô te
voltou de
ouvindo.
novo.
Ah,
Saiu de novo. Saiu de novo.
agora. Fala alguma coisa.
Agora tá certo.
Tá me ouvindo?
Tô.
Boa. Cara, onde que tá aqui no vídeo a palavra fork? Deixa eu compartilhar aqui com
No que eu
você.
compartilhei, o bruto, certo? Tá no segundo 39.
No meu tá no segundo 32.
No seu tá no 32. No bruto tá no 39.
Deixa eu compartilhar aqui.
Se não... Eu teria que fazer leitura labial pra avisar, pra falar
É,
onde que é.
então, eu
Porque não
não.
tem áudio. Mas
É,
é.
compartilhar todas. Nossa, é
Eu
verdade. Cara, por que que não tá saindo o meu áudio no.
eu não sei se o Gather compartilha o áudio. Ah, tá, mas é. Qual que é a sua dúvida? Você não achou no bruto?
No segundo 32, ó. No 32.
Não, no
Ah,
seu
eu
não
acho
tem
que
a
é
palavra fork. Você cortou a
não
palavra
tem a
fork.
palavra fork. Ah,
Isso, você cortou
beleza.
fork e ficou só for. Mac for. E tem que ser
Mac
Mac
for.
fork. Tem que ter o
Ah,
P.
verdade,
Fork.
tem um cortinho bem aqui. Verdade, já vou arrumar, Dani, daí eu já subo lá. Beleza, agora eu entendi
Beleza.
onde era.
Fechou,
Valeu,
valeu.
valeu. Tá gerando aqui as thumbs.
Top. Não quero
É,
AI slop não, viu? Nem fala
ah,
pra mim se for AI slop.
depois tu, ó, tá 12 minutos rodando aqui, tá ligado?
Gerando
Eu acho
imagem
que eu
não faz
tenho,
sentido. Não faz sentido passar 12
então,
minutos. Geração de
eu
imagem
tenho
é
que ver
3
se
minutos uma imagem.
tenho que ver no meu fluxo aqui, o que que ele tá fazendo. Enfim, já
Beleza, me avisa quando estiver pronto.
fechou.
É, cara, já te falei, né? Se não sabe onde tá travando, pede pra fazer uma coisa só e ver se funciona.
Valeu, beleza, eu vou fazer isso. Valeu, beleza,
Fechou,
valeu.
valeu.
Here's an example. I came across Here's an example. I came across once AI runs experiments to result by rewriting. It could be a tool. But the repo is really made for these comparisons. Not everyone has CUDA or NVIDIA hardware. And even small computer
Pathy's Auto Research. It's a tool that trains an AI model on its own, overnight, no babysitting. Brilliant, but here's the catch. It only runs on an NVIDIA GPU with CUDA. On my Mac, it just won't run. There's no NVIDIA here. Watch, NVIDIA SMI, command not found. That's where our seed comes in. And to be clear, the seed is not the tool. It's a single file that an AI agent reads to install the tool on any machine. First, the agent looks at the machine and figures out, this is a Mac. Because it's a Mac, it doesn't grab the NVIDIA build. It pulls the Mac fork, the one that runs without CUDA. Then, it installs the dependencies and verifies itself. Everything has to pass. And here it is running on my Mac from zero to a real training run. No NVIDIA, no manual setup, the seed figured out my machine and installed the right build in one shot. This is
Galera, eu tenho que ir pra aula de Muay Thai, tô atrasado. 7h58. Fechou, valeu, tamo junto. Amanhã tem mais. Quem colou aí. Quem conhece, quem tá aí, sabe, né? Todo dia tamo aí. Fechou, valeu.